And we're back with our second segment of Talking Law TV, and we're here with Steve Lowry of Harris, Penn, and Lowry of Savannah and Atlanta. How are you?
Good.
And you have a special guest for us, Major Mark Revenew of the Pooler Police Department, the Assistant Chief.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you.
And today we're going to talk about driver distractions.
Yeah, and this is one of the issues that I think people don't think about as much, but it's one of the very dangerous things that happens out on the road, and something that people need to be aware of, and it only takes a few seconds to be distracted and lose control of your car or swerve into somebody else. So things happen very quickly out on the highway, as I know Officer Revenew can tell us.
Absolutely.
I mean, at 60 miles an hour, you're covering a football field every couple of seconds.
Yeah, and the mistakes are amplified.
Is it even possible, really, not to be distracted with everything going on?
I think it's very hard, and there's a number of distractions that we can control, like cell phones, like texting, like eating, like talking to your kids, or having pets in the car, things like that. But a lot of people are distracted just by what's on their mind, and if they're angry about something, got into an argument with somebody, things like that. So I'm not sure that we can 100% control distractions, but we can certainly do a better job than we do.
Yeah, I mean, it's you need to. I mean, it's causing people life.
Okay, we have some slides here for you to comment on. First one is a relatively new technology. Avoid texting while driving. You see a lot of that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the younger generation are all over this, and it's only going to get worse as we go on.
Yeah, I mean, texting, emails. Most devices now you can do emails on. So a lot of people do emails, and just talking on the cell phone, the GPS. There's all kinds of things in the cars, especially the newer ones, that can distract you.
Right. Some have DVD players. You can watch a movie going down the road.
That's exactly right. Hopefully not in the front, but I know Officer Revenew's had some experience with seeing them even in the front.
Yeah, we've seen people that have modified their devices so that it plays in the front, which is, of course, against the law.
Is that a ticketable offense?
Oh, absolutely.
So, and a fine?
Absolutely.
Court cost?
Yeah, it's
a very expensive movie.
Yeah, hopefully that's all it is, and it doesn't lead to an accident.
Okay, and our next one is distractions outside the car. And apparently that one was fairly severe, expensive.
That's right.
And then we have Mr. Starbucks here, who has the trifecta going on: the Bluetooth, the phone, and the coffee.
Exactly. He's too busy for everything, so he can't even drive. So he's doing 3 things, 4 things at once there, and that's not going to be a person who's going to be paying attention to what happens on the roadway.
And then I was thinking, I told you earlier, we had driving down the road about 2 weeks ago, saw a lady eating a big breakfast with a knife and the fork in the front seat, cutting it while she was driving.
That's amazing.
And then the people who always get blamed, if we have to show the guy, we have to show the girl. And putting on the makeup.
Well, exactly, and I think you even have some examples of people who are putting on their ties while going to work, getting dressed. I mean, the things that people do in their cars that they think nobody's going to notice and that they can get away with are amazing, I think.
Yeah, we all see these dangerous drivers, and they're causing people their life.
And then we have some statistics here for leading distractions, and you supplied this list, Steve. This was things outside the car 29% of the time.
Yeah, what we found in our research is that over 5,000 deaths are caused in this country every year because of distracted driving, and over 500,000 injuries are caused every year. And distracted driving is the #1 killer of teens in this country as far as driving accidents, higher than drinking and driving. And I think the studies have shown that the statistics for drinking and driving in the teen population have gone down, but distracted driving has gone up, so the fatality rate, unfortunately, is staying the same.
The big accident this summer with the 4 girls, didn't they say that one was texting when that happened?
I don't recall the exact cause.
I think that might have been part of it. I don't remember the exact facts of that case, but you certainly hear of stories like that. And that's another thing that I think Officer Revenew has probably seen is when teens are in a group in a car, that they distract each other. Is that something you've seen?
Absolutely, where they'll just, not only the communication, but the texting and the emailing and every other electronic device you can imagine.
Do you find that these accidents, does speed seem to increase, or does speed slow down when people are distracted?
A little of both. You see them swerving, you see them speeding up, you see them, in the left lane going way below the speed limit. They're very well disguised as an intoxicated driver. You almost think that's what you have when you stop them.
Is that initially why you pull them over? Do you think you have a DUI in your hands?
Absolutely. They're swerving, they're speeding, changing their speed in the wrong lane, running through stop signs, red lights.
You ever pull the ones over who are just going way too slow?
Oh, absolutely. It's almost guaranteed when you see them in the left lane going below the speed limit that they've got something to their ear.
Okay. And then we have next one, our passengers distracting people, objects in the car, eating, drinking, cell phones, other distractions, and then unknown. And your city, I-95 runs right through the middle of it. You've seen all kinds of death and destruction. Can any of that be attributed to distractions, or is high speed still mainly the main cause?
Well, we've become bad drivers. We don't follow the rules that we were taught as young drivers, 10 and 2, and keep your eyes on the road, be defensive, look for anything that is going to cause you a distraction.
Now, if you're a victim or someone in your family is injured or killed, is there a civil liability above and beyond just cost replacing a car or medical bills?
Absolutely, and basically what you have, it's the same, you bring the same type of case you would in any car wreck case, but if you can prove that the other driver was distracted because of texting or eating or doing something that they shouldn't have done, then in those cases we can ask for punitive damages, and there have been several fairly large verdicts here in the state of Georgia. One was a texting case, another was a cell phone case, where the driver was doing something they shouldn't have, and the juries in those cases went above and beyond the compensatory damages, which pay for your medical bills, your pain and suffering, and compensating the victim, and went above and beyond and punished the driver with large awards, because it's the kind of thing that we don't want to see happen. And distracted driving is not talked about as much as drinking and driving, but it's just as dangerous.
Okay, how do you find out if someone was on the phone or texting?
Well, in our cases, and I know Officer Revenew has some examples of his own, but in our cases we have discovery, and in our discovery we can go to the cell phone company and we can request the logs of when they were on the cell phone, and we can find out if it matches up with the time they were on. And sometimes they'll admit it, sometimes they won't, and if they don't and then we figure it out, it makes it worse for them. And then there's the black box in the car and things like that you can download and put all this sort of data together in order to figure out whether they were doing something they shouldn't have at the time.
Okay, and Mark, you have anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, of course, we have the same rules. We use subpoena power to get cell records, and we have witnesses. People stop and say, I've been watching this guy for the last mile, and he's been all over the road, and this is what I've seen. And we take that witness information, we record it.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being here, Major. And thank you, Steve. We'll be back with Christy Register talking about how bankruptcy can help solve your financial woes. We'll be right back after this.